Hot take. Most retrieval systems do not need a GPU, and buying one too early can actually hide bad design.
That sounds backwards, but it is mostly true. In RAG, retrieval is often more about smart indexing, decent chunking, and latency discipline than raw accelerator power.
So, if I am building a RAG app, what is the real question here?
Not, do I own a GPU? The real question is, which parts of retrieval are expensive, which parts are frequent, and where does speed actually change user experience or cost?
Give me the blunt version. What retrieval tasks run well on CPU?
A lot of them. Keyword search with BM25, metadata filtering, hybrid score fusion, vector lookup over a moderate corpus, document chunking, deduping, caching, query rewriting, and most indexing pipelines can all run very well on CPU.
Even vector search? People hear embeddings and assume GPU instantly.
For many teams, yes, even vector search. If your corpus is in the tens or hundreds of thousands of chunks, or a few million with a good ANN index, CPU can be perfectly fine, especially for low to medium query volume.
Make that concrete.
Say, you have an internal docs assistant for a 50-person company. Maybe 200,000 chunks, mostly text, a few queries per minute. CPU can handle ingestion, indexing, BM25, vector retrieval, and result fusion without drama.
Then where does the GPU start to matter?
Usually in two places: embedding generation at scale and re-ranking. If you are embedding millions of chunks or re-embedding often because your content changes daily, a GPU can cut hours down to minutes.
And re-ranking is the sleeper cost, right?
Exactly. First stage retrieval is cheap. Cross-encoder re-ranking is where latency can spike, because it scores each query document pair more carefully. If you re-rank the top 50 or top 100 candidates on every request, a GPU can help a lot.
So the trap is thinking retrieval is expensive when the real culprit is the second pass.
Yes, and that matters strategically. Teams blame the vector database, buy hardware, and still feel slow because the bottleneck was the re-ranker or the embedding pipeline all along.
Give me another example, but one with real stakes.
Imagine a support platform ingesting 10,000 new tickets per hour, then searching past cases to assist agents live. If you embed every new ticket immediately and re-rank aggressively for each agent query, CPU may start to lag. A GPU can protect response time and keep agents productive.
But if you are not at that scale, the GPU might just sit there looking impressive.
Right. Many systems do not need a GPU at first because their true constraints are elsewhere: poor chunking, noisy documents, weak metadata, bad evaluation, or too many irrelevant candidates being retrieved.
That is the uncomfortable part. Hardware feels like progress. Relevance tuning feels like work.
And the winners are usually the teams that do the boring work first: clean the corpus, add filters, tune top K, measure recall and latency, use hybrid retrieval, cache frequent queries. Those changes often beat buying compute.
So when should a programmer say, okay, now a GPU is justified?
When one of three things happens: your indexing or re-embedding jobs are too slow for the business, your re-ranking latency is blowing your response budget, or your query volume is high enough that CPU scaling becomes more expensive than accelerating the hot path.
I want a practical build path, not theory.
Start on CPU with BM25 plus vector search, basic metadata filters, and offline embedding jobs. Measure ingestion time, P95 retrieval latency, re-ranker latency, and answer quality. Only add a GPU after the metrics show a specific bottleneck.
So a small team shipping a DocBot next month should not block on GPUs?
Definitely not. They should block on having a solid eval set and a retrieval pipeline that they understand. A fast wrong answer is still wrong, and a GPU does not fix retrieval mistakes.
There is also an organizational power shift here. If you need a GPU on day one, suddenly ops, budget, and procurement get involved.
Yes, and that slows learning. CPU first keeps the stack simple, portable, and easier to debug. You get signal sooner, and you postpone infrastructure complexity until it earns its keep.
So, The verdict is not never use a GPU. It is know exactly why you are using one.
Exactly. In Retrieval, GPUs are accelerators, not magic. Earn them with evidence, and you build a system that is both faster and smarter.